Congratulations, you have finished developing your Flutter app, and now I will help you to build, release and publish your Flutter app to the Google Play Store. Whereas I will show you step by step the whole process from scratch to finally release your Android app to the public. We will follow 3 simple steps of the official Flutter guide for publishing your Flutter app. Feel free to jump to the right sections and timestamps if needed. First of all, we will make your Flutter app ready for the upload and release. We will set your app icon, app name and unique application ID. Secondly, we will upload and publish your first Flutter app to the Play Store. And lastly, I will show you how you can save a lot of time by publishing all upcoming app versions automatically to the Play Store with the help of Fastlane CI and CD tool. With this, you can push your app updates every time to GitHub, and it will then automatically build, release and publish your app to the Play Store. Let's follow the official Flutter guide to build and release our Flutter app to the Google Play Store. The first step is to add an app icon. Therefore, go to Google and type Android icon generator, and then I take here the first link to generate a new icon. Within the section clip art, you can select here another icon. So I take this icon and then I download this zip file. Alternatively, you can click on image, choose then your app logo and open it. Change here the padding like you want. For example, you remove the whole padding, and then you can also click here on download zip. Next, open this downloaded zip file, and here inside you will see this logo, which you drag then inside of the assets folder within your Flutter project. Let's also give it here a different name, so I call it app logo PNG. Go back to the official guide, and here you see this package Flutter Launcher Icons, and this package we will use to generate our app icon. Therefore, copy here this code, go back to your Flutter project to the pubspec YAML file. Within this file you should see here the dev dependency, so paste it here inside, and here you can also remove the dev dependencies because they are already inside, and make also sure that the spacing here is correct. Let's also copy this true flag and put it here inside, and within the image path you need to point to your app logo. Therefore, make also sure that you put here the correct name inside that you have defined before here within this assets folder. Finally, go back to your Flutter Launcher Icons package and here to the section run the package, and then you can also copy here these 2 commands. Then go to the command line or terminal and go to the Flutter project location. So this is here the location of this Flutter project. And then paste here the commands inside. In my case, I have transferred it to a single command. So I execute here the command flutter clean, then this flutter pub get, and lastly also this command from this package. Press enter. And after some time, it should say that it has successfully generated our launcher icons. In case you get here this error, could not find Flutter Launcher Icons package, then simply go to your pubspec YAML file and make sure that you save this file and then run this command again. Next, we want to use the package rename to set a new app name for our app and also to change our bundle ID or our application ID. Simply scroll here a bit down and then copy here this installation command. Go back to the terminal and paste it here inside. And then this package should be activated. And secondly, go back to your browser and we scroll here down to this command pub global run rename. You can simply copy it and paste it here inside. And I also modify it a bit so that I change here the app name and then I define here my new app name for my app. Press enter, and then it should say here that the Android app name changed successfully to this new name. And secondly, we can use this package to define for our app a unique application ID, and each app in the Play Store must have a unique application ID. Therefore, copy here this command and go back to your terminal. And here to create a unique application ID, you need to define your reverse domain. So in my case, my domain is johannesmilke.com and I put it in reversed order inside. And secondly, you can then choose here a project name for your application. And since your domain is unique in the whole world, your application ID, which is here this ID, is then also unique. Simply press enter. And then it should say that also here the Android bundle ID changed successfully to our new ID. After this, run your Flutter app and then you should see that we have a new app name and a new app icon. With the first step completed, we can go over to the second step to build and release our app to the Play Store. Therefore, go here back to the guide to the section signing the app. First of all, go to your Android folder, and here I create then within this Android folder a new file, key properties. And within this file, we need to define then the key store password, which is needed for signing our application. Therefore, I go here to this section and then I copy here the code and paste it inside. And here within the store password and key password, you can then define a random password, which you should keep secret, so you should not share it with other people. Next, scroll again within your browser a bit up to the section create an upload key. And now you need to copy here the right command for your operating system, Mac, Linux or Windows. So in my case, I take here this command for Mac and Linux. And then go to your command line or terminal and paste this command inside. And after you press enter, it will ask for a key store password. So simply take here the same password that you have also put inside of this file. And this is really important. So put here the same password inside and press enter. And then you need to re-enter the password. So paste it again inside and click enter. Now you can define the certificate information of your application. So in my case, I simply press here every time enter. And at the end, write here yes to confirm here your selection and press enter. After this, go to the location of your key store file that was generated. So I'm here right now inside, which is here this upload key store file. And then move this file inside of your Android app folder. And lastly, you need to go here back to this Android folder and here to this key properties file. And then you need to make sure that you put here the right location of this upload key store file inside. So I basically go here then to the path app and upload key store file. And this is exactly where we have pasted our file before inside. One important thing to notice about this key tool command that we used before, if you face here this issue key store password was incorrect, if you don't know this key store password anymore, then you simply can go to your home location of your computer and then you need to remove here all of these JKS files and simply remove it. After this, go back to your terminal and write this command again. And now you can follow here the steps like before. You can enter here your password and also generate your key store file. Now that we have created our upload key store, we need to sign our application with this key store file and create an app bundle. But before we can do this, we need to go here all the way down and we need to follow then the section configure signing in Gradle. First of all, we need to go to the location Android app build Gradle file. So go to your Flutter project into the Android app and build Gradle file. And then copy here this code on the right side and go here then to the section Android. And before it, you need to paste it inside and also make sure that you remove here then this Android part of what you have pasted here inside. And also make here the spacing correct, so align it here to the left side. Then you need to go back to your browser and here you scroll then to the second section and then you need to copy not this one, you need to copy here the second code, so copy here this code. Go back to your build Gradle file and scroll here all the way down until you see here this build types. Make sure that you select here everything, also here the space at the beginning and paste it then inside and then go back to your terminal and make sure that you are within the terminal inside of the root folder of your Flutter project that you have here in the background. Then type the command flutter clean and press enter. And this will remove previous builds in case you have created already a build before. And secondly, you need to run this command flutter build app bundle. And this will create then a signed app build that we need to upload later to the Play Store. And here within this location, this app build was then saved. So simply go inside of your Flutter project and then go exactly here to this build folder, app, outputs, bundle, release, and here you should see then your app bundle that was generated. Later we need this file, therefore make sure that you keep this folder open in the background. But before we upload this file, we also need to go here back to our Flutter project inside of this git ignore file. And here inside you see by default this key properties inside, and we also want to add then this upload key store that we have generated before and which we have placed inside of our app folder. And this is really important that you have here these both files inside of your Android git ignore file. Otherwise, if people get access to your keys and your key store, then they can also upload a new app version to the Play Store and can overwrite your app version that you have uploaded. Next, I show you the whole process to upload an app to the Play Store. Let's get started by creating a Google Play developer account, which is needed to deploy a Flutter project to the Play Store on Android. First of all, you need to go to this URL, which is going to the Google Play console. Here you need to sign in first of all to your Google account, and then you click on create a new developer account. To create a developer account, you need to define a developer name, which is normally your company name. Next, you need to put here an email address inside. For your phone number, you need to enter first of all the country code and then your phone number. And lastly, you need to confirm here both checkboxes. And with these, you agree to the Google Developer Agreement and Terms of Service. Then you click on Create Account and Pay. And now you will be asked to pay with a credit card a fee of $25. And it is important to notice that you cannot use a debit card, you need mandatory a credit card. After you have entered your credit number and also your address, you can click here on this button Buy. And then it should say here that the developer account was created, and you can click on this button Go to Play Console. And with this we have created our Google Play developer account, and we can create here later our first application for Android. Simply click on the button Create App, enter your app name that should be displayed within the Google Play website. Choose your default language, I take here US. Then decide if you have an app or if you have a game developed. So in my case it's a normal app. It's also in this case free. Important to notice here is if you have selected free, then you cannot go to the paid section later. Scroll down and here you confirm then the developer program and also the US export laws, and then you can click here Create App. Next, we need to define our Play Store listing page. So this is how it should look like later. So we can upload some screenshots and also our app logo to this website. To define these information, go within your app page here down to the store presence and select main store listing. Here you can give it then a short description and also a longer description up to 4,000 characters. So explain here this text in detail because the user will later read this text and then he will decide if he wants to install your app or not. Next, you can scroll here down to the graphics section. Here you need to upload then your app icon, so simply drag it here inside. And this app logo which you upload here needs to have a size of 512 by 512 pixels, and you can upload here a PNG or you can also upload a JPEG. Next, you need to upload here a feature graphic, which is then some graphic that you create to feature your app. Also make sure that the image that you have uploaded has here these dimensions. Next, you can also add here a promotion video for your app. So I put here some link inside, and then you can go to the phone section to upload some phone screenshots. These screenshots you can simply create within your emulator, so open here up your app and then you go to the page which you want to have as a screenshot and click here on the symbol, and then he creates here a screenshot for you. In my case, I have already created here some screenshots and I can simply drag them here then inside. Make sure that you upload here at least 2 screenshots, which is mandatory, and you can maximum upload here 8 screenshots. The screenshots that you upload here needs to be in a format of 16:9 or 9:6 as an aspect ratio. After this, if you like, you can also add here specific screenshots for your devices, such as for the tablets. So here you can upload some screenshots and here also. And lastly, click here then on Save to submit your changes. After this, go to the store presence and here you go to the store settings. Choose here your app category. So in my case, I take here, for example, education. You can also add here some text so that other people can find then your application. So you can search here for some text. And then you can select here some so that your application can be better found by search engines and other people. After this, scroll here a bit down, enter your email address, and optionally you can also add here your website and phone number, and all of these information will be then displayed on your Google Play page. Then click again on Save. Next, you can choose a track where you want to upload your app to. So we take later production because then it is released to the public. However, if you want to test your app, then you can also take these other tracks, for example, internal testing, closed beta, and open beta testing. To go to these different tracks, simply go here all the way up and then you can choose here testing, and here you see then open testing, closed testing, and internal testing. And if you click then here, you can create here every time a new release. Also, if you go to internal testing, you also see here this create new release. And if you go to closed testing, then you need to go first of all to this track, to this alpha track, and then you also can create here a new release. In our case, we want to make our app public, therefore we go here to the track production. And here you can then also create a new release. So we create here now this new release by clicking on this button. After this, click here on continue. And here you need to upload then your app bundle that we have generated before. After this upload is finished, the other fields here below will be filled automatically. So the upload has finished, you can go here down and you also can add here some release notes, and these are later displayed on your Google Store page. Click on save and then click on review release. And here you will see some errors because we need to fill more information. So click here on production, go to countries and regions, click here on add countries regions. And here you can then select all the countries where your app would be available. And you can also deselect here some countries. Then click on add countries regions and click here on add. Next, we need to scroll here all the way down within this list and go to the section app content. And here we need to supply then some more information about our app. Therefore, click here on the first one, privacy policy. And here you need to add then a link to the privacy policy, and you also need to add this link within your app itself. Therefore, you can Google for a privacy policy generator, or you can also go to this link here to actually get here some privacy policy that you can use for your website. Therefore, I click here on this edit button and I select here the whole privacy policy and copy it. After this, I go to my GitHub account and here I create then a new repository and then give it here some repository name. And the most important thing is that you need to put it to public, so you cannot put it to private because otherwise no one can access your privacy policy. After this, go here down and create the repository. Then click here on create a new file, call it privacy policy MD, and then paste here your content inside that you have copied before. Here inside you need to define then first of all your email address, and also scroll here all the way up where you also can then replace each of these information with your company name. Let's quickly replace here all of these information with your company name or your app name. And after you are done, you can then scroll here all the way down and click here on commit new file. Then you can click here on this file itself and you see that our privacy policy is now hosted here within this location, and you can copy then here this link and paste it here then inside. Alternatively, you can host this privacy policy also on your own website, and then you can simply take here this link of your own website, or you can also put it to Sites Google and create here your own site. Simply take then this URL and also paste it here inside in case you want to have it on your website. After this, click here on save, and then you can click here on app content to go back. Then you need to click here on ads. Do your app contain ads? If yes, then select here yes, otherwise select no. So in my case, the app doesn't contain any ads and therefore I select here no. And this will be also later displayed on the Google page itself. Click on save, and after this go here back to the app content. Choose here then app access, and here you need to define your login credentials in case some parts of your app are restricted. So in case you have a login to your application, then you need to click here on all or some functionality is restricted. And then you need to add here some instructions with the password and also username so that the Google team can then sign into your application and review your app. In my case, all the app is accessible and there is no login functionality. Therefore, I can click here on all functionality is available and then I click on save. Next, go again back to the app content and then go to the content ratings. Click on this button start questionnaire. Supply here your email address, select here then your app category, so in my case it's educational, and then click here on next. Choose here the answers that apply to your application, so in my case it's every time no. However, make sure that you answer here all the questions correctly to your app and then click on save and then click on next. Here you see then an overview of your calculated app rating on the world, which is also displayed on the Play Store listing page. Click on the submit button to agree to this rating and then click here on app content to go back to the selection. Now choose target audience and content. Here you need to choose then the target age of your app. So in my case, I take here simply everything and then I click on next. And now in case you have selected also an age under 13, then you have here special restrictions and you need to click then on OK. And here you need to fill then the second and third step in case you have selected an age under 13, otherwise you will land up at the fourth step. Answer then here the questions related to your app, and after this click then on next, and click again on next. If you like to join the family program, choose here yes, otherwise I select here no and click on next. And lastly click on save. Then go here back to the app content, click here on News App. In case your app is a news app, then you need to select here yes, otherwise you select no and click on Save. If you go now back to the app content, you will see that you have completed all of these steps. And now we can roll out our app to the Play Store. Therefore, go here back to the track where you have created your release. So in my case, I have created it here within the production, and then click here on Edit Release. And now you can click here on Review Release. All the errors should be gone, and then you can click here on Start Rollout to Production and click here on Rollout to submit your selection. Google will now manually review your app that you have submitted, which can take up to 48 hours. And once it is approved, it will be then listed within the Google Play Store. Simply click here on All Apps. And here you can then see the status of your app. So our app is still in the review process, and this can then take some time until it is reviewed by Google. So all in all, you have learned how to build, release, and publish your app to the Play Store. Click here on this next video to learn how to automatically publish all the upcoming app versions to the Play Store, so you can push conveniently your app to GitHub, and then it will be automatically build, release, and publish your application to the Play Store.